Hi Capricorns, welcome to your May 2018 monthly readings. So this is your no show and grow readings. My voice is crackling because I've done quite a few videos. Okay, so you guys got a lot of sword cards. We're going to get into it. We're going to find out though. First card you got is I am valuable. That's what you need to know. Next card you got is I'm aware. It's in the what you need to show. And then the next card you got is I am unique. I like that card. What you need to grow. Okay, so your tarot cards are the Seven of Swords, the Six of Wands, the Ace of Cups, the Knight of Swords, the Magician, and the Five of Swords. You had some extra cards that popped out. It was the Ace of Swords, the Eight of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles. So what you need to know is I am valuable, the Seven of Swords, and the Knight of Swords. Okay? Seven of Swords is not the best card, you guys. I'm not going to lie. Okay? It's not always negative. Sometimes it is positive. So what this could be telling you is that if we're going to come from a more positive standpoint, is that not everything needs to be spoken about or said. Okay, so like if you have plans, you don't need to be telling people your plans. All right, because you could get people that could interfere in them. All right. The Seven of Swords, on the flip side, okay, the more negative side of it would be sneaky behavior. All right, this is like, this is like somebody trying to take credit for something that you've done. But because you have so many swords, this would be representing communication. So the way I'm getting it is as, okay, there's things that aren't being said that should be said. That, you know, this would be you're going to know what it applies to. All right. So like, it's not something that needs to be said to everybody, but it would be like an interpersonal relationship, right? There's things that you're not saying that need to be said. And like with the Seven of Swords, it's a card of the person is well aware of what they're doing, right? So it's like if there's an argument, then the person would be given the silent treatment to the other partner, right? They're aware of what they're doing. Okay, I never recommend that because the silent treatment is actually abusive behavior, all right? It does fall in the mental abuse category if you like research psychology and stuff like that. Okay, so there's things that need to be said if that's what's happening. This guy knows what he's doing and he's doing it to get away with it. All right, so there's something that he's doing knowingly to get away with it. Now, also with the swords, that's thoughts and ideas. So it's like it's like if somebody's taking credit for somebody else's work, that's not going to go over well, especially with Capricorn or with Saturn being in Capricorn. All right. Best way I can describe when Capricorn or Saturn's in Capricorn is it's like that song Busta Rhymes, Ante Up. There's no getting away from it. Okay. So with the Knight of Swords here, that's being knocked down to a Knight level. Okay, this has to do with you. This is not other people. Okay, so there's information that you need to find out. So this is like if you're making a deal with somebody, or you want to have all the facts and the details. You want to do the research on your own. Okay, because the Knight of Swords is truthful, but he's a hunter. He's going to go out and he's going to get the information that he needs. All right, he's going to take things with a grain of salt, and he's after the truth, like at no cost. All right. You definitely want to be tactful, okay? Like that is saying that the Seven of Swords is a tactful card. Okay, so if it's coming from the positive side, then this is saying that you want to be tactful in the way that you're approaching things. Okay, like in case somebody's trying to get one over you. However, this would be warning you of being caught red-handed. Okay, like so just be aware of that. If you're trying to keep things under wraps, like then you'll be caught red-handed if you're trying to get away with something. All right? I gotta like that's very uncomfortable. People don't want to hear that, but you know, if somebody's taking from you, they will be caught red-handed. All right, it's not going to go well for them. Okay. What you need to show is I'm aware, the Six of Wands, and the Magician. These are powerful cards. You have Aries and Leo energy here. Six of Wands is like Leo. Okay. If you have a Leo in your life, they do love you. Perhaps it's a Leo that's doing the silent treatment. So if there's something happening here, what these cards are saying is not to do an eye for an eye, right? It's not going to go over well, okay? And it's going to backfire on you, all right? You do have great power this month, and diplomacy is key. I mean, I don't know why, but it's like you have to be aware of your surroundings. So this means looking at what people are saying and what people are doing, all right? With the Ace of Swords, that's the truth coming through, all right? And those of you who have watched me for a while, I always associate that with King Arthur, the sword that he pulls out. His heart is pure. That's why he can wield the sword, all right? And with the Eight of Swords being beside that, that's like 9 swords, all right? 9 swords is like feeling entrapped, you know? Like the Queen of Pentacles being here, this is saying that you have to be very nurturing in the way you're approaching things, okay? So more from the feminine aspect. She's got a rabbit there, all right? And rabbits represent really good luck, okay? But she's a realist, all right? She's going to give it to you how it is. She's kind of looks like the Statue of Liberty, all right? Which is like what? I know France gave that to, I think it was France gave it to the Americans. But your health is quite important, all right? She's the soccer mom. You know, like she gets things done on a practical manner. The way that you have to handle things, though, is in a practical way. So it's like uncomfortable conversations, you know, like what you need to show is with the Six of Wands is it's being victorious, right? The Six of Wands, whenever I see this card, though, it's like, moi? Like me? That's, you know, it's just his expression in the card. Right? But in order to be a leader, you have to lead by example. So that means if you're going to talk the talk, you have to walk the walk, right? With the Magician here, the Magician is a manifesting card. So that's, and it's Aries, right? Aries doesn't wait for approval from anybody, okay? Aries will do what they want when they want it, okay? That's how they get things done, though. Like, there's some things that need to be done and handled that if you sit around and wait for others to make up their mind, then it might be too late. Okay? I don't know why I said that. That's what I got. But with the Magician, he or she can be highly manipulative too, right? Like that's like the Seven of Swords. There's like with the Seven of Swords and the Magician and the Ace of Cups, that's like emotional manipulation. You want to be aware that you're not doing that, right? Just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should do it, all right? It's not an eye for an eye. And like, why I keep like saying, I don't want it to come across negative, but I'm gonna give you what I got, right? Like, it's because whomever will get caught red-handed, like you or the other person, I don't know. It's not gonna end well. All right. The Six of Wands, you need to be aware. Like, um, aware means you're present. Okay, so don't dwell on the past. Because with the Seven of Swords, that's bringing those swords might not be useful at all. Like, uh, you can't fight with seven swords in two hands. So you got to pick one. You can't. Uh, the Magician. Okay, there's that saying, "As above, so below." Okay, but the infinity symbol's there. So you know what I get with this card, which is weird. I don't know if you guys know the Monkey King. It's a Chinese legend, all right? The Monkey King was one of the most powerful gods. Okay, and maybe I'm not going to say the story right either. Uh, he was bound to a monk. All right, the monk, I believe, would say a couple of words, and the Monkey King would be stopped in his tracks. All right, like frozen. He couldn't do anything. Okay, the Monkey King was highly well, he came across a little egotistical, right? But he was wrongly accused of something, um, of killing his master, I believe it was, at least in the version that I seen. All right, but uh, the gods ended up putting him in the rocks. They sealed him shut, um, due to them accusing him of doing something that he didn't do. Ended up being a really close friend of his that, again, in the version I seen, that killed his master, but the facts were laid out where it looked like he did it. So this is like, this is saying, with I am aware, if you're a superior or a boss or something like that, you want to have all the facts and the details before you go. Maybe you have a worker that you really place a lot of faith and trust in, okay? But at the end of the day, human nature, okay, because like, they're gonna protect their own butts. You know what I mean? Like, out of fear, they're going to go in survival mode. All right, and people will do some underhanded things, and use a lot of different tactics when they're in survival mode. Okay, so in that scenario, you want to actually really evaluate what the person's telling you. Okay, so this is like not listening. I mean, sure, hear them out, but also examine the actions. All right, like, what people say and what people do are two opposite things. Some people can be really good talkers, but what they're doing is the complete opposite. You know what I mean? So, like, because maybe like, what you need to know is the Seven of Swords, right? So, like, you need to be aware of that Seven of Swords. Okay, so like, with the Monkey King, though, he was released from the rocks by the monk. Okay, but he was bound to the monk. Monks are highly patient people. Okay, they'll reevaluate, and they do not like to use. I wouldn't say they're more diplomatic, but the way that they perceive things is they're quite forgiving. Okay, they don't hold grudges, because that's not their belief system, right? They understand human behavior. Uh, and you have the Five of Swords, which is an Aquarius Venus card. All right, I know that energy. I'm going to read that one from the book because I think what the book says might be helpful. The Monkey King was set on revenge, though, right? So don't. Um, in order to be victorious in whatever this has to deal with, you want to be very diplomatic. You want to have your emotions under control, because if you don't have your emotions under control, they will rule you. They will be the deciding factor of how things play out. Okay, they'll manipulate you. Your own emotions will manipulate you, right? Uh, the Monkey King was quick to react. Uh, he had a bit of an ego, right? And he had some pride. He was quite powerful, though. So, like, you're quite powerful right now, and be careful how you rule or wield your power, all right? Monkey King, of all things, man. Oh, it's hysterical. Okay, you might want to watch that movie if you haven't seen it. I think there's 3 versions of it. There's even a TV show, I believe. Uh, if you enjoy reading, read it. All right. So this is like even it could be something small and minute, like your children. All right. Like so, if your children are throwing the other sibling underneath the bus, you kind of want to evaluate what they're saying and what they're doing. Right. We all remember being kids. If you've had siblings, I'm pretty sure everybody can remember a time when a sibling threw yeah, they're under the bus to keep because they didn't want to get in trouble, right? But there's something about here like emotionally detaching. It's the Five of Swords, right? Because if you're emotionally attached, your emotions are going to be the deciding factor of things, right? When you're emotionally detached, you're not biased, okay? You're unbiased. Uh, your emotions are not directing you and guiding you, but it's a head and heart. Balance them both, right? You want to balance it both. There's like a hula hoop, and a hula hoop is circular. That's weird, right? It's it's like things going around and around and around. So there's something you want to be aware of, and you want to put an end to it to manifest a positive outcome. All right, to move past what's no longer serving you or blocking you. Okay. What you need to grow is I am unique. Okay. Um, well, unique. It's like if you're weird, there's nothing. I say the word weird because there was a time when like my mom freaked out on a lady because she kept saying that this person was weird, and my mom was like, "You should use the word unique because it's rude to use the word weird." Apparently, so if you're unique, let that shine through. Don't okay with the Seven of Swords is like you ain't got to keep up with the Joneses. Like you can do things in your own manner. You don't have to do things like everybody else does. Okay, and a star doesn't shine because it's like everything else. It shines because it's an individual. All right. So uniqueness is being an individual. Okay. You need to grow with the Ace of Cups. This is like emotional. This is like I love yous. There's a cat here, which cats are like associated with Leo, right? Cats are highly independent too. All right. They're more independent than a dog, right? Cats you can leave at home for a while. You don't have to worry about them. They clean themselves. They do their business in the litter box, right? Like if you own a dog, you have to um, you're more confined. You have to train them a lot more. You have to be home a lot more. You have to walk them a lot more. Cats, they're quite pleased and can entertain themselves, like, but they're independent, so they need some alone time, right? They're not very needy. Okay, they can be quite affectionate when they want to be. They're a little moody. Okay, back in the day, we owned quite a few cats. We always found that the male cats were a lot more affectionate than the female cats. Actually, the female cats they would like um, rub up against your leg, purring like they wanted to be touched. Like, and the second you lean down to go pet them, they would swat you. They'd be like, bam! And it was kind of like a look, don't touch type thing, right? Cats are very temperamental, okay? But it is a sign of protection, cats. Why did I say that big spiel? Who knows? Maybe you're temperamental. Maybe you need more alone time. Maybe this has to do with your partner. Uh, but cats, generally speaking, after you feed them, they're quite pleased, right? Like they come up to you and they're like, thanks, man. And then they go off and do their own thing. All right. But they are loyal. We had outdoor cats. They always came home. Um, they're hunters though, right? They need to get out more. And they're nocturnal too, right? Night creatures. Uh, my mom used to call it the witching hour. It was like around 11, 12 o'clock in the morning. The cats, usually the females though, it was never the males. They would start doing laps in the house, like, or hiding in the corner. We used to have this one cat, Rocky. It was a female. We named it Rocky because, well, Rocky was quite popular back then, the movie. All right. And we thought it was a male. But she used to hide in the hallways in like a corner. Like it was on the stairs, the way the hallway went straight down, and she would hide on the stairs in the corner. And whenever you came out to use the washroom or something at nighttime, she would just come right at your feet. So she was hunting, right? Or uh, that sounds odd, but Ace of Cups is about being loving and nurturing. This is I love yous to your children. It's hugs and kisses. You know what I mean? Um, the Seven of Swords, Six of Wands, and the Ace of Cups. This is like perhaps you have a child that's hiding something because they think that you won't approve of it. All right, but if they want to do it, you have to allow them to do it. Like maybe you want them to play an instrument, but they want to do something else. Like they want to be in soccer. Okay. Or maybe football. I mean, that would be scary if you have a kid and they want to be in football. But I mean, a solution to that would be, what do they call that? Flag football? Where they have those like streamers on the side of them. They're not streamers, but I guess flags. That's why it's called flags on the side of them, and they just pull it off. It's less physical, but like you may have a child who's acting out because they want more attention. All right, so you're gone a lot and they want you home more. Or they just want to spend quality time. With the cups and the magician, that would be, it's creative, right? Like magicians are imaginary. So this is like reading stories to them, or maybe you just want to go see a movie with them. Definitely, if you have a child, you really want to listen to what it is that they're interested in. And even if it's not something that you are, you kind of want to pretend that you're interested in it just to not please them, but show that you're supportive, right? Like, and then you have the Five of Swords. With the Five of Swords, I see it as you being victorious. Okay, it's Venus and Aquarius, so that's a very humanitarian energy. It's a detached energy because if they're attached, they can't be unbiased, right? Aquarius, the Venus Aquarius energy treats everybody the same and as equals. Okay, it's an energy of honor and pride too. I can vouch for that. I have this energy, you guys. With the I am unique, they are a little bit weird. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. Usually when they get mad, I personally, I have a Mars and Venus in Aquarius, and my Mars Aquarius sits in Virgo, which is just like ridiculous, you guys. However, the only time I usually get mad, it can be really hard to get this energy upset. It really is. They're quite understanding. But when they do get upset, it is because there's wrongful treatment being placed upon an individual. Okay? So it's like the underdog is getting mistreated. It's like somebody's kicking the dog, right? This energy will come in like, who the hell do you think you are? All right? They tend not to like superior. They can have a problem with authority, but not all the time. Okay, how can I put it? They root for the underdog. Okay, they're humanitarians. They like humanitarian causes. They like it's the SPCA. So if you have children, you could take your child to donate time at the SPCA. With the Venus Aquarius energy, that's very much about causes that are probably not so much more in the limelight than other ones are. Okay, like the forgotten, the underdogs, right? And a lot of the time, SBCA can rely on volunteers to come in you know, and animals, they can't really help themselves because you do have a cat here and you have a monkey, right? They can't help themselves. They don't have a voice, all right? So donating time to help out the SPCA is a really good way to teach your children some sort of skill, all right? Like kind of like helping at the soup kitchen, all right? But with the Five of Swords energy, when that energy gets upset, it's upset because somebody thinks they're superior than another person, and they don't like it when somebody thinks that they're above another because whether you're male or female, young or old, rich or poor, everybody's a human. And the second that somebody starts forgetting that, this energy usually comes in to remind them of that. So it's like, at the end of the day, you're what you need to remember is at the end of the day, when the boss leaves the building and you leave the building, you're both the same when you walk out that door. Okay, just because there's a title when you're in the building doesn't give that person the right to act or treat you any differently. You're both humans, if that makes sense. All right, hopefully that makes sense. It's a Saturn energy, just like you guys, right? It's ruled by Saturn, but it does have the Aquarian planetary. Um, so they know the rules. They know how, but they can bend them, not break them. All right. And usually with the Aquarian, when they come in, it's a very unexpected, shocking energy. It could be like, no, he didn't, and it's like, yes, he did. All right. Or, oh man. Okay, so this is it in the book here. It says conflict, tension, disagreements, inflexibility, compromise, isolation, and defeat. It is a fixed sign energy, okay? So if they have their sights on it, they will get it done. It can be hard to change their mind, okay? The Five of Swords is a complex card that indicates tension, conflict, and interpersonal difficulties. The image on the card, here we go. See if we can fit it in there. The image on the card of a knight who is conquered or disarmed others. He has the swords of his enemies around him, but the feeling is not one of triumph. Sometimes this card indicates a feeling of hollow victory. Perhaps you have won an argument or conflict, but the battle may have cost you more than you realize. Often this card appears when there is danger or alienating friends, lovers, or co-workers through inflexibility or the desire to be right rather than willingness to work towards the best solution for everyone. This is the only card I drew without color. For me, this card often speaks of the kind of black and white inflexibility thinking that can make a person hard to work with or be in protective relationships with, or be in a productive, relationship with. In a reading, this card may represent the damage you are doing to others while you are on your path to victory. This is especially true in conjunction with the Chariot. You don't have the Chariot here, though. The Five of Swords can also speak of feeling of defeat. Have you recently felt like you failed at something? Are you feeling disarmed, useless, or vulnerable? This card may be asking you to look around at the weapons you still have, get back up, pick up a sword, and fight your way forward. And that doesn't apply. It's saying in a past position, and I don't do readings like that. It says there may be resentment or issues of trust with important people in your life that need to be resolved. Ask yourself if there are amends that need to be made. So it's like, because it's a fixed sign, it's like admitting when you're wrong, right? Or the other person may be having an issue doing that. It says it may be asking you to confront some harmful, I was going to say it's hurtful, or selfish behavior you are currently engaging in. It says many tarot readers may have a hard time calling someone out when this card appears, but in your own heart, you should know that something you are doing is affecting others in a negative way. The Five of Swords may also appear when you are ready for a fight or a battle to be over. Perhaps you have come to the realization that fighting is costing you too much and that it is time for you to move on with your life. Forgive and forget, or at least set things aside and focus on what's next. It says at times this card may indicate a conflict that you would like to leave behind, but it just keeps following you. For example, a problematic ex who is still causing issues, or a bad financial situation that are hurting your current or future plans. Okay, its associated birthday is January 20th to January 30th. Numbers 5, 59, and 14. 5 is a number of change. Change is difficult, all right? With swords, a lot of swords cards in here. Swords are about thoughts and ideas. With the knight here, it's like there's no avoiding things. Like if there's uncomfortable things that need to be said, they have to be said. Avoidance isn't like the Seven of Swords is like avoiding a situation, all right? And it's not going to make the situation better. It's going to make it worse. Avoidance isn't going to, you're just putting gasoline on the fire. You have smoke here, all right? Like there's smoke signals going up to the universe, God, spirit, whatever you believe in, okay? And you're saying SOS. and the universe is saying, hey, listen, we've seen your SOS signal. Okay, we're trying to help you out here, but it's all up to you. The Knight of Swords being knocked down to this level, or being asked, this is being asked of you, and this is the requirement to get you out of this SOS, all right, situation. It's the uncomfortable conversations, or it's the truth of the matter. You can't avoid the truth. Okay, with Seven of Swords, avoidance. You can't avoid what's no longer working, what's no longer serving you. Okay, with 5, that's the number of change. Change is hard. Okay, so honestly, you guys, you can change your relationship, your location, where you live, your job. All right, you can change everything around you, but if you're not changing internally, or making the difficult decisions and choices, and having the difficult conversation with yourself, it doesn't matter what you change outwardly. Inwardly, nothing has changed. So outwardly, everything's just going to, I seen a hula hoop. So everything's just going to replay itself over and over. It's a circle, right? Everything will just keep going around and around. And you'll be standing there wondering why, right? Like you're sending smoke signals, and the universe is telling you, okay, you got to do the right thing here and make the change. What's best for everybody. Okay, 5 of Swords. What's best for everybody. All right. It's an Aquarius energy overall. Okay, what's gonna, this is, it's a Knight card, right? So like, it has a bad rep, I think, this card. All right, it's this ego and pride can get in the way with this card. That is true. All right, like that is true. But the thing with this card is this person will go out and fight for what's best for everybody. All right, they sacrifice themselves for that cause. Okay, because they can end up looking like a complete idiot. Been there, done that, you guys. However, they are true to their cause. All right, like they are willing to sacrifice themselves for the greater good. But as long as it's for the greater good, it's not for a selfish reason. It's not the Leo energy. It's an Aquarius energy. All right, the Leo energy is highly beneficial. It's courage and strength. So you might need to. That maybe is why Leo's coming through. You got the cat. You need courage and strength to deal with these emotional issues that are mentally trapping you. All right, you have to have those tough, uncomfortable conversations. There's no easy way to get around it. All right, like nothing in life is easy, and if it's easy, it's not worthwhile, and it's not going to last. Okay, so if it's not uncomfortable, then you're probably avoiding, right? For some of you guys, this might mean like teaching a lesson. I just need one of these cards. You're trying to teach a lesson. Just the way you go about it is key to be victorious. Like, and what the cards are saying is you have all the tools to be victorious and have a positive outcome, but you also have all the tools to do it in a sneaky manner too, right? Like, so like, is that making sense? I don't know. Hopefully. You have to be aware you might need a unique solution, okay? Don't worry if somebody's taken from you, they're going to be caught, but definitely be aware of what you're hearing and what you're seeing. You're not trapped, okay? Like, You got 2 cards. Man, everybody's getting 2 cards. So you got the Sunflower. That's Leo. Strength and courage. And quite fitting on the back, it says hidden. All right? It says you have qualities longing for expression. In your wildest dreams, what could you, what do you already do? Songs sung only in the shower, words written secretly in your journal, brightly colored paintings hidden in a box under the bed. Are these places just too sensitive to touch? Do you protect your talent, hiding it from the world and maybe even yourself? You might take your gifts for granted, but others never will. The world will never be a brighter place without your shining essence. And then this one says passion. Wild physical and structural nature, the rawness of life is in you and all around you. Fearing your passion will leave you cut off from the energy of life itself. The frequencies of the earth, Mother, will flood your being when you explore your passion for living. Breathe into the core of your being as if it were your last breath. Feel the wind in your hair and the sun on your face. Take it all in and leave nothing unnoticed. Accept the pleasure in living life and transform your pain to ecstasy. So with all the swords characters, those are air cards. So fresh air could be really good for you guys. All right. You do have the Ace of Wands. That's a yes card. You know, like with I am unique, the Ace of Cups and the Five of Swords, that's your passions too, right? Like so, Ace of Cups, it's emotional. What emotionally makes you happy? Your uniqueness. You can create art. I did study Vedic astrology for a while. Um, I do have in Vedic astrology, most of your signs are moved back one. So instead of it being an Aquarius, Mars, and Venus, I do have in Vedic astrology, I do have a Capricorn, Mars, and Venus. All right. And from what I've gathered from that was they can be very artistic, but in a structured manner. So the reason I'm saying that is that just because you're a Capricorn doesn't mean that you're not artistic or you don't have fashion sense. It's usually more structured and clean lines and stuff, but there's a uniqueness to that, right? So even if you're a welder, you could, create steel art. You know what I mean? Maybe you're a painter. You could create that too. You let your uniqueness shine through. So, with the Aquarian energy here, that is uniqueness, right? But there's a unique solution to handle the problems that you have. A lot of listening is key and a lot of watching, okay? All right, you guys, hopefully this helped you out. I will talk to you next month. Namaste and ciao for now.